second last round of the Commonwealth Bank Trophy for 1998. It's the Melbourne Derby with Phoenix hosting the Kestrels. Hello, I'm Steve Rebillard for ABC Sport. Welcome to the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. Well, it's round 13 and it's going to be unlucky for someone. Indeed, it could be the end of the road for the Kestrels unless they can beat their more fancied opponents. Phoenix are definitely in the 4. The Kestrels might make it if they win. Annie, have they got it in them?
They sure do, Steve. I mean, there's been so many upsets throughout the second round of the competition, you can't write anybody off. The Kestrels, granted, have been a little inconsistent, brilliant against the Thunderbirds. They're not so last week against the Ravens. Mind you, they were without Nicole Cusack and Melanie Vivian for most of that match. So with them returning to the fold, I think we'll see a much stronger performance. You've got to remember, too, the Phoenix weren't flashed last week either. They were a little lacklustre against the Sandpipers. They're still without Taverner and Ingrid Dick, so they have another level to reach as well. I think it's a very big unknown quantity, this match. And as you say, crucial for the Phoenix to try and make it to number 1, crucial for the Kestrels to get into the 4. It's going to be a big game.
Let's look at the lineups, and what a pleasure it must be for Norma Plummer to name McMahon and Southby up front each week for Phoenix. The Kestrels will oppose them through Garbutt and Mead. The return of Michelle Bennison strengthens the Phoenix midcourt. Behind her are Susan Howie and Simone McInnes, while the circle defenders again are Illich and Crane. Kestrels coach Marg Lind has settled on Melanie Vivian at wing defence, with Richardson at centre and O'Donnell wing attack. Cusack will hope the ankle holds up, and Bryant is goal shooter.
Well, the Melbourne Phoenix have been training really well this week with the return of Michelle Bennison, and obviously we're just really fired up because we want that top 2 position on the ladder just so that we can have a double final chance. And obviously they're really going to be motivated because this is their only chance to get in the top 4.
Well, as far as the game goes tonight, it's very important for us. We're just out of the 4, and if anything we do, we want to make sure that we're in the 4 for the finals this year. So it's an important match. We need to win not only tonight but also the following week.
And we're set for a start. Maureen Boyle says, let's play, and Howie gets them going. So Howie, Southby, and looking for McMahon straight away, and finds her over Mead.
And the Phoenix Rumble hits the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. The supporters are letting their home side know they're appreciative of the opening.
Now, this is a Phoenix home game, and there are more Phoenix supporters here as Cusack dishes out to Richardson and back. Post is on the move.
Richardson having the choice of Cusack or Bryant. They were neck and neck for that ball.
Well, a couple of shaky shots first up from Cusack. She's in great position now, but it's 1 for 3 from Nicole Cusack. And a couple of good rebounds helping them out. Maureen Boyle on the far side, Sharon Burge on this side. So a couple of our more experienced umpires been thrown at this very important game.
And Steve, I was just looking at the stats for the last time these two teams met. The stats very similar right across the board. Penalties, intercepts, turnovers. The thing that stood out was the accuracy. The Melbourne Kestrels just 74% for the match. The Phoenix, by contrast, 90%. Only 3 the difference in attempts. It came down to accuracy.
The turnover, which Phoenix will be hoping to do something with. Bennison back in the line. Oh, and quick hands from Southby, unselfishly, to a partner there, McMahon, who applauds.
Smart hands here from the Melbourne Phoenix. Bennison relishing her return to the court, but it was Southby that put a blistering pass onto McMahon.
It's Bryant at the other end. 2-2 in the early stages. Sent a pass to come to Howie. Yes, back in that game you're referring to in round 6, and Southby shot 93%, McMahon 89%. And so they won it by 10 with a similar number of opportunities. So accuracy counts, hey?
Sure does, and they were brilliant stats from the 2 young shooters, destined to be names of prominence in Australian netball. And just to ram the point home, Eloise Southby adds another. Her first for the match.
Cusack back out to Bryant. And it's straight to Illich.
Yeah, Illich sewing up the post there. Cusack normally quite slippery under the post, but not able to find some space for herself.
McInnes. Howie. Kestrel's mid-court defence pretty good. Bennison. And Howie again. Richardson opposing her. But now it's with McMahon. And Mead gives away the penalty. And a little early break for Melbourne Phoenix. Last year, they won the two clashes 79-30 in one of the biggest wins of the year, and then 61-47. So they've got a record to keep intact at Melbourne Phoenix, and they've started the right way. Richardson, O'Donnell.
Tough games this round for both the Ravens and the Kestrels, fighting it out, we think, for fourth spot, unless something miraculous happens for the Sandpipers. But the Ravens, too, under pressure against the Firebirds. They could easily cause the upset, so both of them with tough ones.
McInnes, Benison.
Benison with so much strength and experience at wing attack. We saw for the Phoenix last week 2 of their rookies coming through the junior ranks, and they shared court time for the Phoenix, which is great to see the depth coming through, but you just see the class immediately of Benison since she's been on court.
Yeah, Jacobson and Smith did a pretty good job between them last week, but Norma Plummer happy to have Benison back as they kick it out to 6-3 Phoenix. Cusack, Richardson, Bryant. Oh, that was not a great idea. Cusack to O'Donnell.
Oh, open. Jackie Mead had a think about it, but wanted to hug the circle to protect the shooter nearer the post. Wide open, though, to Eloise Southby, and Susan Howie not missing that opportunity to make quick ground.
Benison, no.
A similar mishandling as we just saw at the Kestrel end of the court. Richardson had put on a ball with just too much on it. She took it via the floorboards to O'Donnell with too much speed.
I'll take that one back. It wasn't... who did I say? Cusack. Oh, I gave someone a bum rap, and really it was Richardson.
Well, now we've given a couple of them out. Ooh.
Hit the boards are running. Illich, Benison, McMahon.
The screen is sought by Southby.
Southby gets rid of Garbutt. And she's 3 for 4. 5.5 minutes gone, and 7-3, a worrying margin for the Kestrels camp.
Again, quick hands, Southby. Holding call goes against Jackie Mead, so she's not having a happy opening for the Kestrels. Southby really asserting herself early on in the match. And you're just delighted in the understanding then between Susan Howie and Eloise Southby.
Bryant, Richardson.
It's about to say there's a lot of close attention being paid from Illich to Nicole Cusack. She's really putting her under pressure early on. Australian teammates.
Howie to Benison.
Quite open to the circle because Richardson has dropped back with Melanie Vivian to put a zone across the top of the circle. Gives some space for the Melbourne Phoenix feeders to drive onto the circle.
Another thing hurting the Kestrels is the early penalty count, 10-3 against them. But here's a turnover for them to do something with. Mead. Melanie Vivian, or does she get it to O'Donnell? Yes. O'Donnell drives down court. All the speed we're used to seeing and enjoying, but Illich takes what misses. McInnes change of mind. McMahon.
Oh, beautiful play. Mead caught sagging back to work on Southby, and it just opened up the post for McMahon.
It's lovely athleticism, though. It's one thing to do it, but another to do it like this.
McMahon puts the drive on. Southby did well to hold the two opponents, leaving the room there.
And contact call against Janine Illich. So Bryant. She's 3 for 4. Margin is 4, and Phoenix possession. Garbutt flying through nearly.
Has a little bit of a recovery run now. Back into position. Oh, that was a heavy fall. McMahon down, takes Garbutt with her. She's just coming through the pack and tripped.
And Mead, Richardson, O'Donnell, Cusack, Crane working on Bryant.
And that pass from Cusack had hands on it from Illich, so a lot of pressure over the ball from the Phoenix defenders. Oh, come back.
Jocelyn Bryant shooting 81% for the season. It's quite incredible, really, how close Southby and McMahon's stats are for the season. For Southby, 321 from 387 attempts, and McMahon 325 from 393 for the season. And both shooting 83%. This shows how evenly they share the work.
Yeah, that's a very unusual statistic for a team, and it does also indicates how difficult it must have been for Jill McIntosh to make those final decisions in the Australian team. Of course, now history that McMahon, who's taking the shot after a beautiful pass from Southby, got the nod over Southby.
Garbutt, Cusack, O'Donnell. Oh, that had a really good look before dropping. Bryant will take that. Keeps the margin at 2. One more turnover here in the Kestrels' favour will really make it interesting at quarter time. Won't come now.
Great take then from McMahon. Really held Mead off out of the action. That was sheer power.
Cusack hustles into the circle. Illich can't do much about that.
And Cusack finding rhythm nicely now. She's taking string on all her shots.
Southby, Benison. McMahon just coasts around, doesn't she? Doesn't she move well?
Yeah, she does, and that opened so easily in the end for Eloise Southby. Mead just wrong weight at the last minute. Cusack just a little early into the circle then. They couldn't pick her up on the post, but because she cleared the post, she left it there for Bryant on the second move.
Both teams doing a good job in the last 5 minutes, Anne, of looking after possession. The turnovers have been much fewer, and timekeeper denies Phoenix the chance to establish a 3-goal lead. I think at the end of 15 minutes, Kestrels won't be disappointed to be only trailing by 2. So 16-14 at quarter time. And it's Nicole Richardson in possession. Second quarter begins. Kestrels, can they bring it back to a difference of 1 with the first goal of the second quarter? Yes, they can. It was a good centre pass to get. Just puts a little more pressure on Phoenix. Howie. Benison. Contact against Garbutt.
Number 6, yeah, number 6 for Narelle Garbutt. So they're just starting to creep up there.
And 6 against Melanie Vivian and 4 against Jackie Mead. The penalties at quarter time were 17-10 against Kestrels. If they can just rein those in a little bit, and you know, that's just something else that'll put some pressure on Phoenix. Crane is down, and Cusack saw it, offloaded to Bryant, and whoop-de-doo, 16 all.
Got a match in our hands.
Through O'Donnell.
Just looking at the shooting stats for the first quarter. Sherelle McMahon for the Melbourne Phoenix, 9 from 11 at 81%, and Southby 7 from 9 at 77%. The Kestrels, though, boasting the best on court in Jocelyn Bryant with 10 from 11 at 90%. Nikki Cusack right on target too, 6 from 8. And a possession fairly equal there, 19 versus 21. So very little separating these two. Just 1 goal on the scoreboard. And the Phoenix trying to nudge it out to 2 now.
Vivian not interested in helping Howie retrieve possession there, nor should she be, I suppose. Southby. I don't think anybody else shoots quite like that. That is a big trajectory.
Nicole
Mr. Keating's
Cusack,
J
I
curve.
think most would agree, has the textbook shot. Oh no, offloaded to Brian, who wasn't eye on the ball. Cusack not happy with that outcome.
Howie, Benison, Southby. Eloise 12 from 14 now. Southby's dad, Jeff, the ex-Carlton footballer, is here tonight. He comes to all the home games and some of the away ones. She was telling me he went to the Caribbean with chaperone.
I wanted that job.
Minute and a half to go in the second, and Phoenix living up to their slight favouritism. They take more than a slight lead, really, 30-24.
Eloise Southby bringing up the 30th for the Phoenix and the 13th for herself.
Bryant. A sweet shot, 16 from 19. Great to see such a good crowd in, appreciating the importance of this game to both teams.
She doesn't want to bring it back.
Oh, Mead grabs it. Vivian O'Donnell.
Long outlet to O'Donnell, clears a lot of room for the Kestrels, and they're really putting the pace on in the attacking third. Bit of urgency then in the Kestrel play.
And what have we got here?
Lucky to come away with a penalty, I think.
Penalty, okay. Yeah, I think so. But this is a goal they desperately need. Turnovers offered by Phoenix have been few. And they get the centre pass here, pull it back to 3, then they're back in it.
Could make it respectable, the outcome of this centre pass.
And they've got time enough.
Cusack loves that reverse pivot to take the shot.
Timekeeper gets up. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We want the close contest.
High expectations.
Wow, Phoenix in a hurry because the timekeeper says to Sharon Burge, that'll do it. Well, they're in it, but one more would have certainly helped Kestrels. And 30-26 at half-time. Great second half coming up. Well, the Kestrels have tackled the season with a new coach and some new players. The changes have had their effect, and the challenge has been a rewarding one for Marg Lind.
All right, now pick it up again. Pick it up, pick it up. Good work. Now go, lads. Work the ring, work the ring. That's it. Look in, quick. Good hands. The lob pass will come to here. Nick will run to that a driving angle there and then pass it into the centre channel.
Marg, it's your first season as coach of the Kestrels. How's it been so far?
It's been terrific, very challenging, but also exciting. The girls are very positive and the team's come together very well.
What's been the most difficult aspect of stepping into the role as coach of the Melbourne Kestrels?
I think the hard thing for the team in general is developing a winning culture, and it's really all about mental skills and mental toughness and putting it together when it's a crunch point in a game. I spent probably the first few months really looking at the players and the people and the personnel and doing a basic evaluation and sorting out personalities and getting to know people. We tried to lift their approach in all areas and develop a very professional outfit, and we've certainly come a long way in doing that. We obviously want to look at the top 4, and we're trying to keep a broad perspective on that. The start's been a little bit slow in terms of getting the team together for a full game, but the signs are there and there's no doubt we're close. We're building a game on speed, however, at the moment we're trying to vary the tempo at times in the game when it's necessary. We've actually developed lots of defensive strategy in terms of the thirds on the court and not necessarily just having defensive strategy for one end. We're trying to increase players' individual skills. So the Kestrels are looking at building the whole time and developing players, and that's the key to being a good team. I think when a game's close or when we're in front, we're actually focusing on the peripheral things rather than just playing the game. And it's extremely easy to do that because you're under enormous pressure to win. You've got a lot of pressure from outside people and you're thinking to look at the scoreboard, you're thinking to look at the timer, and in fact you really need to think about the game. I think as a coach the emotions are similar to a player's, but it's really important to try and keep balanced and be able to think in a straightforward manner, in fact be quite objective in case you have to make changes and you have to think for different strategy, you have to think about what the other coach is doing. So it's important to stay calm. But, you know, it's no different to the type of emotions players feel at times.
Do you have a motto? Something that, I don't know, you tell the girls or that you have for yourself?
Well, it's funny because I was reading a lot of sporting books at the start of the year to get ideas on team culture, and I read a book by Ron Barassi, and one of his comments was, "This is a beautiful battle ahead of us." So that's a little motto that we've put on a lot of our newsletters.
Underway in the second half. Howard and McMahon, and she picked there a step.
Yes. And that one of the changes for the Phoenix, McMahon and Southby switching. Just looking at the shooting stats to half-time for the Phoenix. Sherelle McMahon was at shooter. She put up 13 from 15 at 86%, and Southby was at goal attack, 17 from 22 at 77%. For the Kestrels, Jocelyn Bryant was at goal shooter. She put up 69%, and Nicole Cusack, 17 from 22, 77%.
So Southby and McMahon have swapped. Bryant and Cusack have done likewise, and Anne Harrison is on at goalkeeper for Phoenix for Stacey Crane.
I actually think I need to correct myself, or at least to explain. I think the stats we just looked at had already reversed Bryant and Cusack. So when we looked at those, they are reflecting the players in their new positions. O'Donnell shakes it, steps off to give a bit of room to go around the defender, but Illich smothers it.
Oh, isn't she in great form? And must give Jill McIntosh a lot of heart, knowing that one of her Australian defenders is absent. I can't think of Janine Illich being in better form, really, considering she's still playing with the left thumb is still strapped. That's suffered a break a few weeks ago.
I think she's really blossomed with the new responsibility in the Phoenix side too. And she's working on the discipline. She's extremely talented, but I think sometimes, every now and again, she strays from what's been set up by Norma Plummer, but relishing the role at goal defence.
Anguish on her face, but Phoenix have got it back. Benison. Southby. Looking for her 15th. From that range, you'd back her in, although she's down there. She's going to get another attempt, or is just Phoenix possession from the back? And it's McMahon instead with the opportunity. And 18 from 23 for Sherelle McMahon. O'Donnell flies out of the action. Oh, Richardson, that had to be just right. The pass to Bryant certainly was. Bryant 18 from 23.
I wonder if the positional switch for the Kestrels is to rest Nicole Cusack's ankle a little, given that she's been involved for the past 2 weeks and, of course, has big things ahead for her later in the year. Not just in the Commonwealth Bank Trophy. Looking at the shooting stats for the Phoenix, Eloise Southby now back at goal shooter for the defending champs. It's 14 from 17 at 82%. McMahon, 19 from 24. So McMahon taking more of a responsibility in the number of goals, but slightly the less accurate of the two.
Harrison a contact on the post. Well, certainly on the move. McInnes, Illich, Southby. Richardson has a good go. Never leaves anybody wondering about her effort. Really puts in. Benison.
Oh, it just opened up beautifully for McMahon under the post, and Garbutt mistiming her challenge badly.
Yeah, didn't look too good, did it?
Garbutt having a contributing word to the placement of McMahon.
But she gets her 20th from 25. Phoenix 34-29. And really, Kestrels in the next, I don't know, 5 minutes just can't afford any turnovers. So they've got to start pulling in this 5-goal lead. Cusack.
Cheeky offload from Bryant to Cusack. They come up with it though. Brings up their 30th.
Just wonder too, and whether the Kestrels are trying to get Cusack away from Illich, because back in the first round game, Illich did a job on her. Oh no.
Ouch.
McMahon. Crowd goes absolutely quiet as one of their favourite players.
McMahon coming through, and Garbutt getting caught underneath her, twisting the right knee. And as you said, Steve, one of the hottest properties in Australian netball, and I think viewers across the country holding their breath. She does seem to be in a bit of bother, doesn't she?
Yes, Wayne Rogers helping her through it, and we hope it's not serious.
Tanya Driscoll would be the shooting option for the Phoenix, but no one would want to see, and I think that includes the Kestrels as well, McMahon leave this game through injury.
Kestrels would like to see her leave the game through lack of form, but that's not going to happen.
The little jog's happening down the far end of the court. Southby looks to offload it, holds it up, and McMahon just coming through now is brought to the ground by Garbutt, grabs the right knee, and she's up and at him again.
Happily then, McMahon can continue. And it doesn't look to upset her.
Top that, she says.
Well, she's made of the right stuff. Richardson, Bryant, O'Donnell, Cusack working it in, and Bryant a nice take. The right hand outstretched. And good positioning from Harrison.
Looks short from the time it left Bryant's hands, that attempt for goal. It's just going off the boil for the Kestrels. Penalty count against them, 38 to the Phoenix's 22. And I just think with Cusack back in the circle, she is finding space on Harrison, but she's able to contribute less in setting up the play. Pretty much the general at goal attack.
6 the lead, and with possession, Melbourne Phoenix. Howie, 5.5 gone, third quarter. Benison. Howie. McMahon. They just don't miss often enough to give other sides a roll on, do they?
Glimmer of hope.
Yes.
No, it hurts to see them going in so comfortably.
O'Donnell.
Oh, that opened beautifully under the post. Illich grits her teeth. Not happy to see the space right next to the post opening against her. Right. O'Donnell really reading the play well, just sees the relaxation from Illich and the move coming from Bryant.
I had Cusack well blocked out of the circle, but still Bryant free.
Southby thinks about it. Just checked over her shoulder to see that she could gain some closer ground with the double play. Finished off by McMahon, though.
Well, the elevation from McMahon, who's got that outstanding standing jump.
Yeah.
I was wondering how I was going to get out of that.
I was
didn't
waiting
bother.
for you to say it.
Bryant.
It was a more open drive then from the Kestrels. Cusack able to pick up her fellow shooter on the drive to the post.
1 for 1, not good enough for Kestrels. They've got to force the ball out of Phoenix hands. Like that, not quite. Richardson was off and running. Benison says, bring it back here.
That's too easy. The screen uncontested by the Kestrel defenders, allowing McMahon a good range shot.
Just caught a smile off camera from Norma Plummer, who doesn't offer a lot of expression during the game. Pretty serious customer, but I think she's quite proud of the way the team is just pushing this along. 6 the margin and with possession. Halfway through the third.
There were patches of this last week against the Sandpipers from the Phoenix. They'd nudge out the lead, and then the Sandpipers wouldn't be shaken. Back in the game, and then
classy effort from Southby. That little no-look pass, and Plummer. There's been a very steady performance from Phoenix across the game, leading by 2, then by 4, now by 7. Back at 6.
I think they would have been disappointed. Their final quarter against the Sandpipers had them 12 out, and the Sandpipers really ran that down to within 2 or 3, finally to lose it by 5. So that would have been pushed home to them at training to finish off the job, and they're doing that now as they open the margin.
Cusack, Bryant. Cusack got away from Harrison, but the ball didn't find her. Bryant, long range, good. 23 from 29, continuing to do her part. O'Donnell, Bryant. Cusack. Oh, out it comes. She's favoured by the bounce. Bryant. 42-36. 5:40 left.
Oh!
And a loose one from Phoenix. Well,
what was the girl thinking? She wanted to quick play the ball. There was nobody there to respond.
Phoenix will step up the defensive effort now, but here's a must-goal possession for Kestrels. O'Donnell. Cusack.
Well, there was no easy pathway, so Cusack elects to take the long bomb, backs herself, and why not? Brings up number 13 for Nicole Cusack.
O'Donnell.
Little play back to the game.
Got your leg under, as Sharon Burge to Simone McInnes. Cusack gets an important one, and they're just taking a little bit out of the lead following that turnover. So McMahon, Howie, Benison. Oh, Garbutt nearly got it cleanly. She loves to fly in and have a dip. Maureen Boyle having none of it. Richardson, O'Donnell, Bryant. 4.5 left in the third.
Ooh, dangerous option from O'Donnell, but Illich stays ground bound.
Kestrel's possession. Out it comes to Richardson. Bryant over Illich.
It was a great reach from Janine Illich, really put some pressure on the release, and Bryant overshooting.
The fresh legs of Harrison helping to get the rebound.
Garbutt adds another penalty to the count, which I think is sitting on about 14 for the match to date.
And that one hurts. Every time Kestrels look like mounting a challenge, Phoenix shut them down. Quick hands once more, Southby. Now Benison cleans up. Howie into Southby. 19 from 23 for Eloise, and 3:30 left in the quarter. 7 the lead. Oh, 3 seconds.
Good pressure from Melbourne Phoenix. McInnes over the feet of O'Donnell, and also behind her, Illich and Anne Harrison teaming well.
McMahon goes for a partner. And Southby has it again through Benison. Number 20 for Southby. And it's hard to see a big enough chink in this Phoenix armour for Kestrels to drive through and force a win. Not with a margin of 8 now. But here's a rare turnover. See if they can do something with it.
Melanie Vivian claiming her penalty after the intercept. Gives another opportunity. Nice drive from Cusack. Very close to footwork against the Australian shooter. Just snuck it in time.
A little Little give and go.
I guess that's classy if it's very nearly and not, isn't it? Deception from Cusack. Looks to the shooter, offloads wide to the feeder, drives herself to the post via her feeder.
Cusack.
And they keep finding ways to make it look a little healthier, the Melbourne Kestrels.
Last 2 minutes of the third. Margin is 6.
And there's one to be had, the Melbourne Kestrels, with one of the rare turnovers in this match.
Well, let's see if they can do a little better late in the quarter this time. Oh, they can't. Late in the second when they could have pulled it back to 3.
Ball should never have been released from Bryant to her skipper. Wasn't on.
Well, guilty of the same crime as late in the second quarter.
And not underestimating the good work from McInnes, but that pass was light on. It was also deflected by Illich on its way.
And 47-40. They've got to get it back to 6. And there's about 70 seconds. Kestrels, that's time for a couple of goals, isn't it? Richardson. Speedy ball in from O'Donnell to Bryant. Her 25th from 33.
So it's been goal for goal in the third quarter, but as you said earlier, Steve, it's just not enough for the Kestrels. They really need to work on a 2-to-1 ratio to try and get the points. Footwork, no replay called.
All right, around about, what do you think, 20, 25 seconds?
Yeah, and as we've said a couple of times recently, important opportunity for the Kestrels. They must make good, and that opened nicely for Cusack. Richardson reading it well.
Yeah, she just rolled away from Harrison. Oh, someone's been busy with the face paint there.
I saw her earlier. She scared me big time.
Well, if they're quick enough, maybe they can get one more. Still, the timekeeper gets out of his chair now. They better
Cusack
be quick.
Will have to go to the post.
And through.
Shot was the ball, and shot it was.
That will be the last of the quarter, and they're not done with yet. In fact, that is a very even quarter. 47-43 at three-quarter time, and the margin was 4 at half-time. So the Kestrels won't lie down, and a great quarter coming up, the last. Phoenix, first possession in the last quarter. And shooting stats, Anne.
Let's take us the stats until the third quarter for the Phoenix. Southby 20 from 25 at 80%, and McMahon 27 from 32 at 84%. So they're averaging 82, which is great form for the two Phoenix shooters. The Kestrels, by contrast, are mid-70s. 18 from 23 for Nicole Cusack at 78%. And Jocelyn Bryant, who moved to goal attack at half-time, 25 shots from 33, 75%.
Cusack, can she put up a shot to bring them within 3? Well, just at the other end, Garbutt gave away her 16th penalty. Things worked out all right for Kestrels at that end, but she is giving away we're attracting a fair bit of whistle. Maureen Ball making sure Cusack is exactly in the right spot. She is, and grabs a 19th. And it's Kestrel's possession. I'm sure the message at three-quarter time from Marg Lind was to make sure you get the first couple of the last quarter. Well, she wouldn't have liked to see this turnover. 16-14 at quarter time. A 2-goal lead was turned into 4 at half-time, but only 4 again at three-quarter time. And it could have been much more.
So the Kestrels really doing some damage to themselves in that second quarter. They won the third quarter, though. So really the momentum has been with them in the latter moments of this match.
You feel they won the third quarter even though the scores were level?
They were, oh, yeah, you're right. I thought I had another goal to the credit of them.
They probably felt they won the quarter, having come back.
I actually feel they won the quarter. The momentum was good. They came into the fourth off the back of a run.
Garbutt, a penalty again. McMahon. suppose McMahon and Southby are the type of combination that are going to make you give away penalties, aren't they? Because they're going to often beat you for height and speed. You just...
I think it's the speed and the body control that really floor you each time. They are so strong in the air and on the ground on the tape that they're the ones that don't move. They're the ones with the balance. And they're able to interchange so well. They provide nice contrast throughout the game.
Two working back on Southby, but now McMahon works away into the circle, backs in almost.
And again, I think that's another example of where the Kestrels hang off for too long. They allow the free shooter just too much time. So a bit of ground was made then by McMahon.
You think they
you
say
see the 2-on-1
too long?
And just a little bit too long. I would have thought as McMahon made a second move, that should have pulled the two defenders apart. It really just allows a bit more room to be crept.
Marching back to 3. And Kestrel's possession. Here they come. O'Donnell. Cusack. And the left ankle looks fine.
So they're winning this quarter so far.
Yeah, okay. Won't get you
Mental
out of trouble.
telepathy, I know. I'll plead cold. And poor Mats.
Oh, great offload. Cusack to Bryant.
That was sweet. Great
When they're
vision.
good, they're very, very good.
And Cusack had great vision. Pushed it on to Bryant.
McMahon in good position. 29 from 36. Kestrels have got a sniff here. They're looking confident. They're just going to make sure they don't have any loose turnovers. Thought they might have had one there.
Well, a full house here at the Sports and Aquatic Centre, certainly getting their money's worth in this match. As we said, it's crucial for both teams as that one dribbles in for Cusack. Little smile on the face. Wasn't the most confident shot.
All right, it's up to the Kestrels defenders to try and find something. Illich. Their experience will be crucial coming home in the last 10 and a half, as will McInnes's.
Again, the speed of McMahon opens some space for her and leaves Garbutt hanging back in the circle, but she's there for the intercept.
No.
Replay. And Sharon Birch almost apologising in her manner because she realised how great the effort was and how disappointing the result.
That hurts.
And that hurts even more. It's ironic how things happen. Garbutt was left back in the circle because she'd been beaten for speed. She pushes through, they crash, it ends up a replay. And look at Garbutt's head thrown back.
She knows. That's a cruel game sometimes. 51-48, 10 minutes to go. Bryant, Cusack to make it 2.
Harrison bluffing the defence of the shot, but just pulls herself off Cusack enough for her to open for the pass.
Benison, Southby, she bold enough to shoot from there. Oh, yes.
Oh, Mead just looks nonchalant then. I'll just pick that one up and throw it down the other end of the court.
All right, what can Kestrels do with this? Oh,
Great
Bryant.
speed. Illich caught well back on the play there, completely out of position.
This will be Kestrel's possession. Can they draw level? Oh, this will be something. Hold on to your hats. Richardson. Oh, over the top for Bryant. Illich had eyes the other way. Oh, that was game.
Caught out of position on the last 2 plays down court, and that is it to equalise. Nikki Cusack with a bigger smile.
It's brought the crowd alive. And against Garbutt.
There's a bit of bump and grind going on between Garbutt and McMahon. No quarter given between those two.
McMahon needs this. Doesn't need it if she can get it to Southby, who has the contact. And the goal. 23 from 29. 8.5 minutes left.
Interesting contrast, Steve. The Phoenix struggling for composure. The Kestrels trying to rev it up and unsettle them.
Oh, and through the hands of Richardson, and Phoenix come away.
Big effort through the middle from Susan Howie. She's been impressive defensively and in the feeding role. And I don't think she's one who'll lack fitness across the full 4 quarters.
52 penalties to 33. Southby backs in a little closer. Nice range for her. And it'll be a Phoenix centre pass.
That's been significant. It's given the break with the centre following for the Phoenix to take it out to 3.
McMahon at her best as she feeds Southby. They just carved up the Kestrels there for a moment. Richardson back to Vivian. And it's Kestrels who are under pressure now. They trail by 3. Oh.
Alley-oop, but not so.
Yeah.
Alley-oop to Harrison.
Howie. Just felt they did look a little hesitant coming down court that time, Kestrels. McInnes, Illich. Cool heads out there required. Howie. Touch from Richardson from behind, using a reach. A Phoenix chant going up. Southby. This will be a telling one.
Landing within the 3 seconds against Mead gives the penalty to Southby. It's now 4 with the centre falling the Phoenix's way. So a damaging period for the Kestrels.
Yeah, they got to 51 all and haven't scored since.
Good pressure from Bryant and O'Donnell in the midcourt. O'Donnell coming up with the intercept after Bryant's deflection. The backup from Vivian good as well.
Cusack wants
Oh,
this.
that was snow. That's official. That had snow on it.
Yeah, all the way from Falls Creek, that one.
The Blue Mountains in Sydney eat your heart.
Oh. Not touched in the centre third, was it? So the intercepts 11-5. Turnovers 3 more against Phoenix, actually, and that's a negative stat, remembering, and the penalties, though, heavily against the Kestrels by 20.
The crowd just delighting in that athletic take by McMahon right on the baseline, and she finished it with the shot. Oh.
How did she stop there?
How do they get it through? Garbutt was just head off the ball, and Southby made it pay. And I think we've got the Southby fan club behind us. They appreciated Ella's sleight of hand.
A 6-1 run for Phoenix and 5:40 to go. Well, if they get this ball, and McInnes does, I think they're just about home. And haven't they been made to fight? Howie. Benison. Southby for her 27th from 33.
Oh, great stretch from Simone McInnes. And a great contest still between McInnes and O'Donnell.
And a great take by...
Oh, I'm not going to say it.
Okay.
By Stephen Rebillard.
Thank you.
Didn't bat an eyelid.
Pen in hand.
Absolute
I signed it on the way
composure.
back. Did you notice?
Stop.
Cusack. Oh. Garbutt swoops to keep possession.
The crowd sucks in their breath at the near collision between Garbutt and McMahon.
Oh, hands up from Illich. Cusack. And 58-53. 5 the difference and under 5 to go. It's hard to see Kestrels doing it, but... Oh, and they don't have possession here. Nicole Richardson disputing that call from Maureen Boyle, but can't do much about it.
No, the advice was good from Nikki Cusack to keep coming, not to stop and debate the point. I think she's realising just on 4 minutes left in this match, they trail by 5. They had all the spirit happening a moment ago. And here comes a chance for another for the Kestrels. Quickly down to Cusack, who hauls it in and finds Bryant under the post.
Oh, the smart bounce pass in.
I'd let you say a word, but that's pretty exciting.
It's all right. Just hoping there wasn't going to be a replay call.
I had the breath for it. Beautiful hands, Howie, into McMahon.
Contact call against Garbutt. Little slap there. And McMahon 32 from 39. Still got the Kestrels at arm's length.
I think the Phoenix crowd here have been quietened at moments in the match, but I think there is just a general expectation to win.
They certainly got involved when it came up to 51 all. They got the feet stamping, the hands clapping. Southby, Howie, Benison. Put on the right side of the body for Southby to get first hands to it. Richardson centre pass. Bryant or Cusack. Richardson.
Oh. Richardson not having a happy finish. Disappointed with the offload from Cusack cross court. Had it connected, it would have opened some nice space in the circle. Come away with it again, though.
Oh, good luck.
There's players falling right, left and centre, and O'Donnell, the latest with the limp.
All right, 4 the difference. So, as it stands now, Kestrels have matched Phoenix throughout the second half. As it was 4 at half-time. But just have to wonder whether the charge that took them to 51 all took a little bit out of them. The concentration went off for a moment, or the intensity from Phoenix lifted. Richardson, Bryant. 1:50 on the clock. Oh, Bryant wasn't expecting the return ball, hit the shoulder and out. I think they can breathe a little easier. And Illich, who's been directing traffic at the back all evening, he's had a fantastic game. Just lost a player once or twice in this last quarter, but really it's been hard to go past. Southby and McMahon have done the job up front for Phoenix. McInnes has put in her usual solid game. There was McMahon on the fly. Stops on a sixpence. A 5-cent piece if you prefer. And they're home. Kicked it out to 7 now. And probably that's a little flattering for Phoenix. Last minute. Cusack. And Illich withdraws the hand. And Harrison can take it from the back. Benison. I'll be well pleased with this win. Phoenix keeps them looking at a top 2 position. And all that means, a double chance come the finals. Simone McInnes putting her offering in to tell Sharon Burge what was happening. It's all a little academic now as timekeeper prepares to step up and whisper a quiet word in Sharon Burge ear. Sharon Burge's ear about 60 minutes having elapsed. He's on his way. And that's all there'll be. Just a great game. Disappointment in the end for Melbourne Kestrels. It could be the end of their campaign for 1998, but didn't they give us a great game here? 64-56 to Phoenix. So, having drawn level at 51 all, what happened from there? 13-5 to Phoenix, so they really brought it home. They're a champion side, and they'll be looking to defend that championship in a couple of weeks when we hit the finals. Shelley O'Donnell and Sherelle McMahon, Australian teammates these days. Fierce rivals today, but contributed to a great 60 minutes of netball. Let's look at the statistics across the match. And penalties right through all 4 quarters hurt the Kestrels. 58-36 the count in the end. Even at quarter time they were 17-10 against the Kestrels. Intercepts, Phoenix took 7 more, and again you have to applaud the defence of Phoenix for coming up with that stat. Turnovers, nothing in that really. 7 more attempts from Phoenix, and they won it 64-56. Well, you can applaud all members of both teams, I think, but Janine Illich was certainly one of the outstanding players, and she's with Anne Sargent.
Thanks, Steve. Well, Janine, that was a slow old walk over to me. Are you tired?
I'm actually buggered. Absolutely buggered. It's pretty tough out there tonight against Kestrels. I mean, we did expect a tough game from them because they're vying for a spot in the 4. So we knew they'd come out strong, and they came out particularly strong in the last quarter, putting a lot of pressure on Phoenix. But I think under pressure, Phoenix always play really well. So, I mean, the experience came through in the last quarter there.
The game was pretty crucial for both teams. You really are on track trying to sneak in that minor premiership too. It's shaping up like it could be a chance.
Yeah. Yeah, we haven't been in the top 2 for a while now, so I think tonight's game, I think the last game will sort of determine whether we do get either first or second spot. So I think that's a bonus as well. Like we'll be looking like, trying to get a berth in the final straight away.
As you said, you're expecting a tough one. The scoreline perhaps a little flattering for you in that the Kestrels in that last quarter looked like they could have put the foot down and run away with it.
Yeah, they did, but I mean, the pressure was there from Phoenix all the way down the court, and I think after last week's game against Sandpipers, we really learnt from that. When Sandpipers did get close to us in the final, quarter, so I think we learnt from that, and this time, we saw it 1 by 8, so which is quite good.
It's a great result for you. Congratulations on a fine effort.
Thanks, Anne.
A hard-fought win, but in the end, a pretty impressive one for Melbourne Phoenix. Well, let's have a look at the table as we go towards round 14, the last round. And a win for the Swifts in Perth has them top with 22 points, followed by the Thunderbirds and Phoenix with 21. The Ravens have consolidated 4th, beating Queensland to move to 14. Then it's back to the Kestrels, who can't make the 4 now, the Sandpipers, Firebirds and Orioles. Tomorrow morning at 9:30, a replay of the Ravens Firebirds game played last night at Etzer Park in Adelaide. Next Friday at 10:30, the Ravens host the Sandpipers, and Pat Micken's team will be looking for a solid performance there to run into the semis. Our Saturday telecast shapes up as a beauty, a top-of-the-table bash between the Swifts and Thunderbirds. The loser could well slip to 3rd and miss the double chance, so a crucial game at 5 on Saturday. That's all for the moment, though, from the Melbourne Sports and Aquatic Centre. I'm Steve Rebillard, and on behalf of Van Sargent, goodbye for now.